Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is your daily horoscope for 21st October 2021, which is a Thursday. So today I am going to do it a little different as suggested by one of you. I am going to pick a card for every energy I speak about, and then I will pick more cards towards the end of the reading. So I'm going to try this out today, and thank you so much for the suggestion. And if you guys want me to change things up or do this differently, let me know and I will do the best that I can. So let's start with what happened yesterday. And very briefly, yesterday was a full moon in Aries, and that moon required us to take action and transform in many ways connected to who we are, our identity, Aries. And we could have felt a little held back because Chiron was opposing Mercury. It still is, and that energy could have prevented us from moving forward, taking action. But the moon, very briefly put, was about taking action and transforming in a very powerful way. And the next thing I will speak about is something that we have been speaking about, and it's that Mercury is still in an opposition to Chiron. It has been for a few days now and will be, but as you can see, Mercury is moving off the square now. Slowly, it will start to move towards 11 degrees, 12 degrees, 13 degrees, and the intensity of this energy will ease off. And very quick, if you're watching for the first time, this is an energy where we might feel some wounds, we might feel some pain, and the goal is to overcome those wounds and overcome that pain. And this feeling of feeling wounded and hurt can come in bursts, right? With the Conjunct Uranus. So that was the background. Now I will speak about the energy. And the moon did enter the sign of Taurus yesterday after the full moon. The full moon happened at about 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you are elsewhere in the world, you can always convert the Pacific time to your time zone to know when the energy is speaking for you. So the full moon happened at about 8 a.m. Pacific time, and at about 1 p.m. or so, the moon changed signs. The moon entered the sign of Taurus. Now, every time the moon changes signs, which it does every 2.5 days, the energy in our life, the focus in our life shifts in subtle ways. So in Aries, we had the full moon, and it was an energy about taking action, taking initiative, changing things up, and it could very well be about transforming as well, because the full moon energy, which we will be in for the next 2 weeks at least, is about transformation, right? It's about beginning these things, it's about starting things. So that was the moon in Aries. And now the moon is in Taurus, and the moon loves to be in Taurus, right? Because Taurus is an energy about being stable and being grounded and enjoying some good food, being with nature. And Taurus is a sign that likes, I'm not saying if you're Taurian you like to indulge, but I'm just saying the Taurian energy does enjoy the good things in life, right? We all have Taurus somewhere in our chart. So that's what we are going to be doing in the next 2.5 days. Being a little more stable with our emotions, being a little more secure, and maybe indulging ourselves a little bit, enjoying ourselves a little bit. And I will pick a card for this energy, and then we'll talk about the next aspect, right? Inner peace. So I think the moon in Taurus for the next 2.5 days is about finding our inner peace. Like I said, we'll be indulging, maybe spending time in nature, enjoying a good meal, or just finding that place of stability and security in our emotions. And why does the moon like to be in Taurus? It likes to be in Taurus because we feel good when we are stable in our emotions, right? The moon does not like Aries. I have my moon in Aries, and I know moon in Aries energy very well, and it's a very impulsive energy. It's a very reactive energy. It's like let's do this now, and we don't feel good emotionally when there's so much intensity with our emotions, but we feel good when we eat a good meal, when we're in nature, when we are feeling secure and stable, when we are enjoying the material world in a way. Nature is part of the material world. Food is part of the material world. So I think the next 2.5 days is about finding inner peace. Now, moving on to the next aspect, we have the moon squaring Saturn at 1 a.m. Pacific time. So you can see this on the chart. Saturn is right here, and the moon at 6 degrees is making a 90-degree angle, a square with our emotions. Now, Saturn is the planet of hard work, it brings about commitments and decisions, and Moon is our emotions, it's our inner heart and soul. And when these two connect, it doesn't always feel easy, right? Because what is Saturn asking us to do? Saturn is asking us, hey, did you decide about that thing? Did you take a decision? What about your emotions? Are you repeating that same pattern again and again? No, control it. Control your emotions. No, take a decision. Define your emotions. And emotions like to run free, and that's why the moon really does not like to come in contact with Saturn. So, this is a moment where we are asked to define our emotions, make a commitment to our emotions, or work hard or discipline our emotions, right? Oftentimes, it's our emotions that lead us into trouble. I'm feeling bad, I'm angry, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. But Saturn says, hey, control yourself. So, this is that moment here. And when someone tells you that when you're angry or when you're feeling down and out, it's not fun. So, that's Saturn. Saturn saying, hey, control your emotions. And the emotions are saying, I don't want to be controlled. So, that's the energy. And now let's pick a card for this and then we'll move on. Balance. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So I think this Saturn square, the moon energy in our emotions is about finding balance, right? And whatever that change is, whatever that commitment is, or whatever work you need to do to find balance, be kind to yourself. Don't judge yourself, right? So that's the energy for this aspect. Moving on, the next important aspect happens at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So let's see that. And what's happening here is that the moon has conjuncted Uranus. Now, the moon is in our heart and soul, and Uranus is a sudden energy. It's an unexpected energy. It's a lot of energy. And Uranus wants us to be our authentic self, right? Very basically put, that's what Uranus wants. And it does so by getting rid of anything that comes in the way of you being your true self. So here is a moment where we'll feel a lot of intensity emotionally. We might feel changes emotionally. We might have a lot of emotional energy to work through. But whatever this is, it will lead to us being more true to our authentic self, because that's Uranus. And the moon conjuncts Uranus once a month. And every month, when it does that, it's the moment where we begin that new lunar cycle of becoming more in tune with our true self. So this is that moment, and it may not feel easy. Uranus is this planet that rules electricity, right? And this can feel like we're feeling frazzled, because imagine so much energy coming in contact with our emotions. It's a lot. It's a feeling of feeling frazzled. But through that feeling, we work, we make changes, and these changes can be sudden and unexpected. And that leads us to say, hey, okay, this is me. These are my emotions. This is who I am. So that's Uranus. Now I'll pick a card for this. Let's see this go with this. Happiness. I think this card is saying that whatever these emotions that we need to change up or get rid of in order to be our true self will lead to happiness. So this is a positive card. Although the energy may feel intense, it's a positive energy because it will connect us with our authentic self. And then we have the last aspect for the day, and that's the Mars Pluto square that we've been speaking about. And this is 9 p.m. Pacific time when they come exact. So, almost, yeah, Mars here at 24:21, but Pluto here at 24:22. A few minutes later, Mars will be at 24:21. So, about 9 p.m. Pacific time, the square has come exact, right? Now, this is the square that we spoke about in the full moon video, and Mars is our drive. It's taking action, it's how we take action. And Mars is also the ruler of Aries, where the moon was, and Aries is the sign of our identity. It's the first house, our identity, who we are, how the world sees us, how we present ourselves to the world, taking action, taking initiative, beginning things, our drive. All these things are Aries. And Pluto is the planet of transformation, catharsis, purification in many ways, endings, beginnings. And with a square, a 90-degree angle, we are asked to adjust something, change something. A square is about friction, and through friction, we are asked to change, because when something is in friction, we cannot go any longer with those two in being in friction. We have to change so that they stop being in friction. And that's what the square is asking for us to change, transform, and begin, purify, maybe something connected to how we take action, taking action, beginning things, starting things, taking initiative, our identity, who we are, how we present ourselves to the world, how the world sees us, all these things. And since they're in a square, this energy might feel intense, and we've been building up to this. The full moon was with a square, with the Mars Pluto square, right? Almost exact. So these few days, this full moon in Aries energy, which will stay with us for at least 2 weeks, is about this, right? For the next 2 weeks, we will be doing this work of changing up things connected to who we are, our identity, beginning things, starting things, going after what we want, and maybe releasing a lot of emotions connected to who we are, right? A lot of times we have a lot of pain connected to our identity as well. It could be that, because Pluto is catharsis. So that's the energy. It comes exact today. Now it's going to start easing off, but since the full moon aspect was with this energy, we will do this work for the next 2 weeks at least, right? And now I will pick a card for this energy, and then we'll close it out. Okay, something fell, so I'm going to pick that up. Guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. And I think this is very appropriate, because yes, maybe taking action and beginning things and all that is part of this energy, but this is also catharsis and purification. And maybe this is catharsis and purification of emotions that hold us back, because the full moon energy, I did speak about it in yesterday's video. Mercury was opposing Chiron. So we could have felt held back. We could have said, okay, my pain, my wounds, the feeling of feeling not good enough is holding me back from moving forward, taking action, doing these things that I want to do or I want to be. So release those feelings, release that guilt. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Let it all go. Release, heal. I think that's the energy. And before I pull a few cards for the day, I do want to mention that the sun is going to enter the sign of Scorpio on October 23rd. So that is going to be a shift in energy. And the month of November, I've done most of the monthly readings for the month of November. I think I have 3 signs left. And most of the cards, yeah, I'm telling you now, are about change, are about transformation. And the sun entering the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of change and transformation. So what I feel right now is that November is a month where we will see a lot of change and transformation. And perhaps this is the starting point of that, because the full moon is about that. Square to Pluto, Pluto is change and transformation. And 4 planets have gone direct, right? In the past 2 weeks, a short period of time, so much forward movement has picked up. So I just thought I'd mention that. And now I will pick a few cards for today, and let's start with this deck and then we'll change the deck. Okay, a lot of cards seem to be flying out today. I'm gonna go with the top card. Grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. So I think today with the full moon in Aries, maybe in Aries we do begin things, but the sign before that is Pisces, where we close things. Pisces is also the sign of loss. And sometimes to begin something, we have to lose something. So if you are feeling grief about something that has changed in the past, something you might have lost, something that might have ended, maybe release it, because maybe sometimes through losing things, through hardship, through pain, we become better, we find new things, we find ourselves even, right? Sometimes I read this somewhere. It said that, I don't remember who said it, it's not mine, so don't quote me on it. It said that you have to lose yourself sometimes to find yourself. And maybe this is that, right? So don't be sad about that. Okay, something fell. Happiness. We got this card for the moon conjunct Uranus energy. So it's a positive card, and whatever is going on, it's positive. So be happy, right? It's a positive card we've gotten. Another one on the floor. Okay. Fork in the road. And I think this is a point where we must decide to move forward, right? It's that fork in the road where I feel, what is a fork in the road? It's when two roads split up, they diverge. So this is a point where perhaps the road that we have chosen in the month of April, I would say, I think now the diverge has come, right? This way or that way. Because a full moon is a culmination point, it's a completion point, it's a point of clarity. So we must have received some information, some insights, some clarity on the full moon that might have made our path clearer. So this is about going on that path becoming clearer. Let's pick one more card. This is my favorite deck these days. So that's why I pull from this a lot. It keeps changing, but this is my favorite deck these days. Happiness. So this is 3 times we've got this card. It's a day where we must embrace our happiness. I mean, what else can I say? It's positive, there's happiness. So don't let the intensity get to you. If it's getting to you, let those emotions go, right? Don't feel sad about something you might have lost or something that closed out for you, because that's how sometimes we are forced to step into the new, by losing something, by ending something against our will. And I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Do tell me what you want to see, and I'll try to make that happen. And I'm always open to suggestions. So let me know, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.